Today's video is a controversial one, and it's one that I've been debating for weeks whether I should even post or not. Since I have recently posted all of these videos on luxury real estate, however, I felt that putting the bow on the luxury real estate series was only appropriate if I brought in the second theme that runs through this channel, the first being luxury and the second theme being value-driven conversations. As somebody that is self-made in every sense of the word, it is not possible for me to have an authentic conversation with you and just talk about luxury, whether it's real estate, cars, food, whatever it is, on the surface level of, ooh, doesn't this shine? For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Pamela. I am a lawyer, an entrepreneur, and a lot of other things. And this channel is my personal lifestyle channel on YouTube, again, focusing on luxury and value-driven conversations. What we're going to talk to you about is truly something the wealthy don't want you to know if you're an outsider. But as somebody that made it into those inner circles, I can assure you that there is not one wealthy person I have made this comment to, whether in passing or head on, and they have not agreed entirely, whether through nodding or verbal communication or literally taking a seat and having a whole episode about what I'm about to say. And that is the fact that those living in those luxury homes we've been covering on this channel in the last few weeks, those living in luxury real estate, knowing that about 80 to 90% of them would have become wealthy owing to real estate, those living in luxury homes and real estate themselves did not become luxury off of the luxury real estate game. They became wealthy off of the low to mid-end real estate game. Why is that? This is the part that is controversial to the outsiders, but all the wealthy are nodding about it behind the scenes. The reason behind this reality is the following. Wealthy people know too much to be jacking the prices up on luxury real estate. They, for the most part, and there are of course some nuances because everybody, comes out of life a fresh white piece of paper and we're all inked in some way. Some are thrown in the trash, some are ripped apart. We all get different messages written on us, aka life treats us all differently. So there are nuances to what I'm saying, but the overall theme is that wealthy people share certain key lessons that they have acquired on their way to wealth. One of them becoming that theme I always bring up on this channel to the point where I feel it might be the more boring theme for some of you, again, as compared to the razzle dazzle of the surface level luxuries, but the theme of value. Most wealthy people that have become wealthy outside of like winning the lottery or just random fluke events have had to learn, and I should qualify as well, I'm talking about self-made wealthy people here, have had to learn very, very difficult lessons about value. And they're going to know once they've reached that level of value that puts them in those homes we've been looking at, that you can't sort of pull the wool over each other's eyes as two wealthy people in the same room, because you're going to be sharing the same knowledge base, the same vocabulary, the same ideologies, the same principles, the same methodologies. It is so difficult and so stupid to try and invest the time in fooling another wealthy person when it is so easy. And again, this is the controversial part for those that are on their way to wealth or haven't made it there yet. It is so much easier for a wealthy person to trick a poor person. And the reason is knowledge. Again, the wealthy person to have gotten to where they are, if they are self-made, will have accrued such a significant amount of knowledge. It takes not years, it can take decades to catch up to what they know. So in the meanwhile, they're going to be making their money off of the poor people. And poor people, you can define it any way you want. I know people that define poor as a $200,000 salary because it is genuinely not enough to pay the bills in most large city centers these days. And of course, there's people that might define poor the old school way, like living below the poverty line, things like that, $30,000 a year. How you define it is up to you. I'm not commenting on that in this video. But colloquially speaking, for the poor, jacking up the prices on poor people's homes, poor people's real estate, whether it be renting, mind you, leasing prices, or actual buy and sell prices, that is how the wealthy put themselves in those homes. And again, statistics are telling us that 80 to 90% of millionaires are made from real estate. So there is a disclaimer there that yes, somebody could have become a millionaire from freaking Pokemon cards. Somebody could have become a millionaire from selling birthday cakes. Yes, but there's an 80 to 90% chance that those individuals have at least dabbled very significantly in real estate to get to those other industries if they partake in them at all. So the wealthy are, again, they're playing games with the people in the lower socioeconomic classes. And I want to be very clear, as somebody that very explicitly came from nothing. There is no commentary here about the quality of these people in the lower socioeconomics. How could I comment on that? We're just commenting about strictly the dollars that people are bringing home in certain classes in our society versus others. And we see this data supported by real estate. I see it in my own holdings by way of examples. I see around me condos listed for $195,000 5 years ago are now selling for $550,000. I see condos purchased for $300,000 selling for $750,000. Homes purchased for $280,000 selling for $850,000. How much do you think the $3 million homes are now selling for? 3.5? 3.2? Some of them 2.7. The lower end in some markets around the world, and I know there's a bit of a softening to the markets now, but of course it's going to go back up in a matter of a year or two, I suspect. On average, prior to this softening we're experiencing right now, lower end homes have doubled, tripled in the last 5 years since prior to COVID. Do you really think the price of luxury homes has tripled? What fellow wealthy person would fall for another wealthy person trying to triple the price on their home? That's just not how it works. And again, there are way more conversations that can stem from this one. So if you guys like this more value or behind the scenes conversation, scratching a little bit behind the luxury facades that we talk about, let me know in the comments down below. But there's a lot of things we can talk about. I'm not encouraging you to go jump into junky real estate, into low-end real estate completely blind. You should be aware that those kind of places can bring certain kind of tenants with them. Certain kind of tenants, for example, that even though your home might be, they theoretically should have increased in equity, you're going to have a certain kind of tenant that is going to just eat through those walls, depreciate your home, and put you in the most difficult spot you could imagine when it comes to real estate holdings. So there are nuances there. There are conversations there that your girl has also learned the hard way and lived through them. But again, I wanted to put today's video out there. I felt it was a responsibility of mine to put this content out there because so many times when we see the luxurious things, we're thinking, how did it happen? How did they make it? It's not salaries, obviously, unless there's like 2 or 3 people in the country that might be making certain salaries to put themselves in certain homes. But it's not salaries putting people into these mega mansions. A lot of the time, real estate has had something to do with it. And so again, today I wanted to share my take that I know some might take as controversial, but believe me, there is not a single wealthy person I have said this theory to or this take to. And I'm talking like I'm not talking rich, I'm talking wealthy people, in their 50s, 60s, 70s. I've said this to them and they nod to the side and they give me a little, what's the word from the Tyra Banks modeling days? They smize, is that the word? They give me a little squinty-eyed look like, you figured it out, young grasshopper, every single time. So I thought I'd pass that information out today for free. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it was valuable to you. Again, let me know down in the comments below if this video format is something you're interested in receiving more of. And of course, I can make that happen. This channel is simply to inspire you and encourage you and just be a safe, awesome place for you on the internet. So thanks again for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe. And remember, we now post content twice a week here on the Pamela channel. So this is going up Tuesday. I will see you next on Friday. Thank you for watching.